Here's a funny thing. Yeah, many years ago, some of you have heard the story, but it bears repeating. It's been a while since I've told it. Many years ago, I went to Atlantic City one day. And I used to go there a lot. My early healing, it was a place, the Port Authority was 2 blocks from my apartment. I didn't have to plan for weeks to go there. I could grab my rollerblades and get on a bus, and it would cost about $2.50 with after rebates to go there. There was a little hotel I stayed in. It was $25 a night. And it was a nice, decent hotel, believe it or not. And I felt nurtured, and I would go seek healing places during the day, and then I'd go to the beach, and then I'd go to a buffet, and I might play games at night, but not a lot. That wasn't my thing. But I had an overnight vacation, so it was fun for a lot of years. Well, this one day, I thought, I want to go back down. We were already living up here at that point. And I thought, I'm going to go to Atlantic City today. And I made reservations, and I get down there, and I didn't take my blades. I wasn't blading anymore. So I'm walking. And about partway somewhere through the day, my legs started to hurt like nobody's business. And it's like suddenly I'm like, oh. And so I went to dinner and it's still hurting. So I had to call somebody and tell them about how I was hurting because, that's what you do. So I'm hobbling on. And after I hung up the phone, I thought, it is possible to walk normally. I know it is. And so as I'm thinking about it, suddenly I'm just walking normally. I'm walking down the boardwalk, and it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. So I knew it was possible, and I thought, well, I wonder where that pain went. And then I found it. It is a bizarre thing. When I looked for the pain, I found it. And I just laughed. I just laughed at myself. Somewhere in my early 40s, I had fasciitis, I think it was called. My heels would hurt so much when I got up in the morning. And one day I said, I can walk normally, and I did. So I thought, well, what is it? Is the pain all the time, or is it just when I look for it? Sometimes pain surrounds me. Somebody just use nail polish remover in here. I don't know, I'm getting a scent of something. If I collapse, you'll understand. It's just the scent of somebody's chemicals out. Somebody's wonderful Purell. Anyway, but I just when I look for pain, I find it. Anybody? If you look for pain, you will find it. Even though I know a lot of you come here and you go to other healing modalities, and you hear over and over again that all of this is healable. Every bit of it. And we all have moments where there is no pain, be it mental, be it spiritual, be it physical, be it emotional, where there isn't. So what happened to the pain in the moments we're not in pain? And how did we get it back? We took it back. I'm convinced of this. When I'm in pain, it's because I have just taken it back. I have either relived my childhood, some kind person has reminded me of my childhood and triggered me, or some incident, and I have taken back my pain, my aggravation, my self-loathing. I've taken it back. But my teachers all told me, then give it back to God. Catch yourself as early as possible when you have taken back your pain, your stress, your whatever, and give it back. Give it back to love. Give it back to wisdom. Give it back to understanding. Give it back that it may be reinterpreted in truth for you. Because God has no pain. Unity's foundation is, I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. That is Myrtle Fillmore's statement. After she was diagnosed with tuberculosis and then went to hear a lecture by a man named E.B. Weeks, and she left that day hearing, I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. And she apologized to her body once, not every day, once for having called herself sick. Because you see, if she had done it every day, she would have been guilty, and that would have maintained the sickness. So she apologized once, and then she began to praise. She praised every aspect of her body every day, every day, every day. Her function was to pray and connect with Spirit. Dan, you didn't inspire this. This talk was already here. You just joined in this morning, so thank you for setting me up. Connection. Connection with Source. Today's talk is called Everywhere Presence. Not everywhere present, but everywhere presence. Meaning there is no place I can be that the presence itself, the presence that is not. There is no place. So I would do well. I would do well to keep trying to convince this presence that there is bad things happening. Knock it off. You don't want to convince God that there is bad. Trust me, you don't want God, you don't want Source, you don't want love to agree with you that this pain is forever, that this plight is forever, that your parents are bad, that politicians are bad, that your neighbor is bad, and especially that you yourself is somehow bad or defective or flawed. I always say, when I went through the 12 steps, I hear all about our character defects. And one day I woke up and I thought, I feel like a walking character defect every time. Oh, there's this and there's this. Oh, I'm a terrible person. Oh, how am I ever going to get... And then one day in my spiritual teachings, I realized I have but one character defect. It is my unwillingness to accept my divinity. And in my unwillingness, I become a liar and a thief and all sorts of behavioral problems. I go to the symptoms. But the cause is I refuse to accept my divinity. I refuse to admit it because I get a lot of, high emotions, let's say, by thinking I'm somehow bad or defective, or thinking that you are somehow bad or defective. You meaning everybody. Let's not narrow it down to just this room. And so I think, oh, that now I'm entitled to go act out somewhere. I'm entitled to go buy something I don't need. I'm entitled to go eat when I'm not hungry. When what I really, really want more than anything is to know I am one with my Source. I call it God. I also call it Spirit. But it's not just one with that entity, that Spirit. I want to know I'm one with you guys. You guys meaning everybody. I want to know that absolutely. Now listen to this. I'm going to read you something. I'm going to read me something too. Let's hope it's the same thing. This comes from the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the New Testament. And it comes from Matthew chapter 9. And Holy Spirit says, listen to me. The authority within the heart is the authority of God. Do not be confused. Your will is not the same as God's. But when you lay your will aside and walk with God, you will know that you are one with God. Forgiveness is for error. It is your judgments that must be let go. For it is your judgment that has been your error. When you let go of your judgment, you will see what is. But if you hold on to your judgment, you choose confusion and pain. Let go and be free, or hold on and sacrifice your freedom. Let go of old habits and old ways of thinking. They have not served you. To hold on to the old is to create a future like the past. That's not useful to you now. Listen to my word. Hear what I say. Practice it. Then you will know what to do. Now, these miracles are not what you expect, for you expect only what you have seen. I'm here to give you new sight. With new sight, you will see differently. Have faith in me, meaning Spirit, and trust in Spirit. Do as I say, and everything different from what you expect will be giving you. The blind cannot see, the dumb cannot talk,
and so it is healing they must seek. Know that it is you I am talking to. You are blind and cannot see. I ask you not to talk, for through your words you spread confusion. Listen to me and spread my word. By sharing what I give, you will recover your sight. Let me heal you, that you may be seen in your true health and be healed unto themselves through me. Quit telling God what's wrong. Quit telling yourself what's wrong. Go into prayer and ask what's right. Go to Spirit in your way and ask what's good, what's right, what's true, and think on these things. Look for what's good in your body. Look for what's good in your past. 12-step recovery, it offers promises once you make amends. And what is an amend but to rethink? To rethink your past, to rethink your thoughts. That's why if you have been a thief, you make restitution so that you will no longer think of yourself as a thief. If you have lied, you make restitution in some way so that you will no longer think of yourself as a liar. So that you will no longer be telling yourself a story. One does not have to be addicted to substances to do this practice. These are behavioral changes that start with thinking. It is our thinking that caused the problem, because we thought with self-reliance rather than with God-reliance, rather than with truth-reliance. We didn't want the truth, because the truth is absolute. We want something that wavers, that we can change our mind about, because we want to get high in one way or another. I'm not saying everybody here's an addict of substances, but I'm willing to bet everybody here's an addict of thinking. Anybody have thoughts? Anybody think? How many times have you caught yourself with a misguided thought? So clearly, your thinking, when based in self-reliance, doesn't work. It may seem to. It may get you to the mall. It may get you a new pretty outfit. It may get you the most delicious cheeseburger or cookie you've ever had in your entire life. But it will not get you satisfaction. It will not get you confidence. It will give you temporary comfort from temporary pain. Anyone who has gone through the release of substances, anybody ever quit smoking? You know the difference, and you know what it felt like when you started to let go of, oh, how will I ever? I have to smoke. And then you didn't. And then with each day, it got more possible. For me, I wanted to know, who will I be if I don't smoke for this day too? 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. Who will I be if I don't smoke today? And I liked who I was with each day. I smelled better. I was out of my mind for a long time because I didn't know who I was anymore. My identity was so based in it. I'd started at such an early age that I didn't know who I was without a cigarette. Nowadays, it's like, oh, could I survive without a cookie today or something? I need something sweet. I have to have it. Except those days when I could say, I don't have to have it. And I can last. Give it an hour, Shawn, see if you still want it. And then there's the other days where I said, well, it's just a cookie. It's legal. Tomorrow I won't eat the cookies. I still play the games. But I don't love myself as much as I would if I didn't base my spirituality on self-reliance rather than on God-reliance. See, with cigarettes, they were in the way of my praying. That's so laughable. If you knew me way back when, to think that I would become willing to put down cigarettes because I had started an active prayer life. Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, he developed his relationship with God as a very personal friend. And that's what I did. And I loved the connection. I felt connected. I felt loved everywhere I went. But there was still a wall between what I knew the next step of connection was. And that's why I prayed and prayed and prayed for the willingness to see the way through. And I got it. And I made friends with cigarettes. I made friends with alcohol. I made friends with cigarettes so that I could understand they weren't against me. Nothing was against me. They were helping me. They got me through years where I had no other way to cope. And now I look for the way through, maintaining, 50 extra pounds of weight, so that I don't think I need that to protect me. I don't need that as a screen of safety and self-reliance. This is what I keep looking for, so that, because I know in my mind, everywhere presence, everywhere, wherever I am, God is and all is well. I know it. I know. And then you get in that moment of discomfort. You itch somewhere, and it's always in the middle of your back where you can't reach. And there's no one around. It's like the old days of having a cigarette and no light. Ever been through that? You had a cigarette, and there was no way to light it. There was not a match, a lighter anywhere in your vicinity. It was maddening. How will I live through this moment? I better go 3-4 miles out of my way so I can go get some matches. Insanity. And now it's, what am I going to do to itch? And suddenly you're up against, you're in a nice restaurant leaning against the corner of a door. And it's just because you got to get that itch scratched. That itch will pass. It really will. But I can't tolerate the discomfort. I gave you a handout today. It's 4 affirmations from Lessons in Truth. It's in your bulletin. The book Emily Cady put together, it's a series of 12 articles. It's our foundation book in Unity. And I'll be honest, I changed the 4th one. I didn't care for it. It was just too personality driven with God, and so I rewrote it. But I had a teacher who said Emily Cady comes into your house at night and rewrites the book. That's why every time you read it, it's different. Well, so affirmation 1 says God is life, love, intelligence, substance, omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. Nowhere does it say God is your judge and your jury. Nowhere does it say God is mad at you. Nowhere does it say God thinks you are sinning and you're going to hell. It doesn't say that, does it? It says God is life, love, intelligence, substance, omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. 2, it says I am a child of manifestation, a child or manifestation of God. And every moment of God's life, love, wisdom, power flow into and through me. I am one with God and I am governed by its law. 3, I am spirit, perfect, holy, harmonious. Nothing can hurt me or make me sick or afraid, for spirit is God, and God cannot be sick or hurt or afraid. I manifest my real self through this body now. 4, God works in and through me. God cannot fail, so I cannot fail without my saying so. If you didn't get one of these, they'll have them in the back when you leave. They're in other bulletins, just in case. But the last one, God works in and through me. God cannot fail, so I cannot fail without my saying so. That's the one I wrote. In order for me to fail, I have to make an agreement for failure. Craig Ferguson, late night TV host a few years ago, in his book, he says what he taught his 7-year-old son is failure is just that we haven't succeeded yet. That's all it is. It's no big deal. But if I take it another way, then I'm saying I am separate from God. So I invite you to use these this week. And I invite you, as you go through your day and your next day, maybe perhaps your moment, and your moment, and your moment, to ask yourself, do I think I am absent from God? Do I think I am somehow separate from good? And then remind yourself that's not possible. It's not possible. I have made that up.
and I have convinced myself that it is somehow true. And believe me, I'm sure I will do it at least 3 times today. I will somehow, in some way, indicate to myself that I am separate from the very good I proclaim to believe in with all my heart, with all my mind. Somehow I will do that, and then I will remember again. And maybe on a couple of those, I'll interrupt. And I'll say, Shawn, don't go any further. It's not true when you know it. Who here sees themselves right now as being willing to interrupt the thoughts that you tell yourself that you are somehow bad, that you are somehow defective, that you are somehow less than a beloved child? Can you see yourself ever again interrupting that thought? Ever? Yay. Some others of you, you'll pick it up. You will come into agreement. The pain will get so hard that you'll have to. Because we don't have to be in pain anymore. We don't have to suffer anymore. We don't have to live in lack. We don't have to. Nowhere in spirit are we asked to live as less than good. We're not asked to live as sick people. We're not asked to live as separate people. Nowhere. And so we have somewhere told, if we are living that way, we've told ourselves. But I encourage you so much to remember, God is life, love, intelligence, substance, omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence. I am a child or manifestation of God. And every moment, God's life, love, wisdom, and power flow into and through me. I am one with God, and I am governed by its law. I am spirit, perfect, holy, harmonious. Nothing can hurt me or make me sick or afraid. For spirit is God, and God cannot be sick or hurt or afraid. I manifest my real self through this body now. God works in and through me. God cannot fail, so I cannot fail. Period. Take a breath. You say, thank you, God. Thank you, self. For there is no separation between the two. So it is, and amen.